this is all happening in the context of this whole sense of individuality, right? The whole capitalistic notion that life is about my personal advancement, my personal gain. How can what's in it for me? Why should I do this, etc. That whole notion has obviously grown a lot in the last few decades. And to me, the idea of individuality and personal identity is a good one, provided it is based in the principle of how can we uniquely contribute to this world, and not necessarily in the way our individuality and personality is being defined by the design of our car, or the size of our apartment, or the type of cell phone we carry, right? I mean, some of those things are beginning to define who we are as our identity, and that's the misleading part. So the point I want to make is that with lack of fulfillment, when we don't have a purposeful pursuit, and with lack of that purpose, what happens is there is this dying urge to get involved in multiple things, and we are in this chase for a never-ending things to do list, right? So we have loads of things to do, and before we knock off 3 out of that, we have 4 more on that list to do. And that is what creates sort of that vacuum in our life. We are hoping for that elusive happiness to arrive, that if I can do this, good things will happen. And what happens when we are living this life devoid of clear purpose and lack of meaning is there is tremendous stress all around us. And as you'll see on the slide, the fact is that the onset of illnesses, right, whether it is backache or cholesterol or hypertension or diabetes, the starting age at which these chronic illnesses are starting is coming down on a regular basis. So younger and younger people are contracting these chronic diseases. Similarly, on our relationships, tremendous strain. Whether it is, of course, joint families are breaking down, but even a lot of nuclear families are breaking down. The divorce rates, separations are very low in India right now, but they are on the increase. And even the marriages where people are together, there is tremendous amount of unhappiness in a large percentage of them. So, these are issues, again, they are cropping up because we want our own space, our own identity, our own, way of doing things, and nobody is willing to sort of compromise, and stress levels have grown, the expectations have increased, and tolerance has gone down, patience has gone down. Also with parenting, similar issues, right? Because parents want to maximize their life, so they want to do all the social evenings, they also want to party, they also want to pursue their career, they also want to travel, not enough time for their children. And kids are growing up under the influence of television, internet, and the peer group. And clearly that's leading to all kinds of issues with crime and data abuse and obesity and all kinds of challenges. Businesses, same story. A lot of businesses are under pressure. Why? Because the pressure to perform on that monthly and quarterly basis is high, and at the same time, competition is increasing, resources are fewer, and there's an unpredictable market environment, right? Things change, whether it's political or economic or global, things are changing all the time. And mind you, the emphasis I want to lay your attention on is this is all happening in an environment where there is either a complete lack or a significant dilution about the clarity of purpose for which that organization exists. What is the social need that that organization is trying to serve in the world? That is something which is sorely missing in many. And that's why the stress. So the bottom line is that I think what I want to leave you with on the initial bit is in our lives, stress levels have grown clearly, and with lack of clarity of purpose and with innumerable choices which we are faced with, we are constantly living the sense of deprivation. Something is missing, something else, if I could add to my life, I'll be a happier person. So this is kind of the backdrop of what's happening, the high stress and the lack of purpose. Let me kind of quickly move to what is personal mastery. And again, these are just glimpses. If any of you are interested, and if you read my book, you'll see all of this in much greater detail and at greater length. But I just want to share these to stimulate your thoughts right now. So when Edmund Hillary climbed the Mount Everest, and he was interviewed by journalists, and they asked him, how does it feel to conquer Mount Everest? And he said, it's not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves. And I think that's the essence of personal mastery that I want to refer to, which is, it is not winning the battles of our business, but winning the battles of our mind. That is personal mastery, where we are, focusing on ourselves, focusing on conquering our own limitations, our own demons, where we are aware of our insecurities, our fears, our doubts, our obsessions, and so on and so forth, and are able to work with them and replace them with greater courage and fearlessness and trust and acceptance and love and all those kind of emotions.